Hey guys, welcome back. So now with Mr. Gerard Mayo out and offensive coordinator out, I think it kind of makes room for McDaniels and it makes room for McDaniels and Vrabel to kind of step in and do their thing. I don't know if McDaniels is going to be part of the Vrabel thing, and I did see that they are going to interview the Detroit offensive coordinator as well. They just asked permission for that. So that would be a good fit. I think we all know it's going to go Vrabel. And then Robert Kraft came out today and did apologize to Gerard Mayo, saying that he kind of put him in a non-win situation. I think Gerard Mayo is going to be a great coach. I think he just needs a couple more years. I think he's going to make a great defensive coordinator somewhere. I just don't think he's ready to be a head coach yet. So today we are going, and because of his win yesterday or on Sunday, we did drop from the 1 to the 4. This makes everything interesting because obviously we're not going to trade that 4 pick. The only way we trade the 4 pick is with this guy right here, and that means I will get into it real quick. So we are going to start the draft. So this is my pick right here. Obviously McMillan is the guy I want to go after, but Will Campbell is also there. So we have two different things that we could do. We could potentially get McMillan, or we could trade back for Campbell. So on this right now, the Steelers and the Tennessee Titans. So none of these picks will get us Campbell. I don't think they trade. I think we draft, and I think we draft McMillan. This is a very offensive line heavy draft, and let's just see who kind of went. So we went Cam Ward first, Abdul Carter second, and then Travis Hunter third. Now Travis Hunter, I'm not convinced. So we're gonna get McMillan at 4. I think that's a steal. I think he should probably go 1 or 2. And see what I mean? So Gray Zabel is probably our guy from North Dakota State. This edge would probably be another good one, or Jack Sawyer right there, another. But I'm gonna go Gray Zabel just to kind of that takes care of our tackle need. Okay, so we got Jalen Milroe, but we got Tyler Booker sitting at guard. We have to go Tyler Booker, and this could turn out to be a perfect draft. I feel like it's getting close. I know some people down in the comments won't feel that way, but this is, I think, where they start making moves. That pick 77, because I think we could potentially get some back end picks for that pick. So we're gonna do 80. So we're gonna drop 3 spots, but we're also gonna pick up the 187th and the 230. This has a 98% chance that's gonna go through. So right now there was really nobody there. Trey Harris, that would have been all right, but we did get McMillan, and as we're kind of thinking, I think we're gonna end up with T. Higgins as well. Marcus McBow, I think that's our pick right there, but I do like Ozzie Trapilo, but I'm going to go Marcus and just double up on tackle. So we basically have our tackle and guards needs met. Now we kind of get to I don't want to say mess around, but now we get to go in and kind of pick the guys that are going to be flyers. So Savon Jones is probably guy that I would really look at 115. And then Riley Leonard, we obviously don't need a quarterback, because I do think that Milton has made up for what we lost in the draft, because I think we will be able to get a second rounder for him if we do choose to trade him. But New Orleans, that drops us to 111, 105, and then we can pick up, then we can pick up the 182 as well. So we're going to drop 6 and pick those up. So we did get more draft picks. Riley Leonard's still available. We're not going to take him. Carson Beck obviously is still available. And Brandon Crenshaw Dixon. That would have been a really good pick if we weren't already tackle heavy. So let's go over our picks real quick. We got McMillan, Zabel, Booker, and Mabeau. This is a very boring draft except for that first pick. So I'm not going to go out and take another tackle. I'm going to probably I think this is a safe pick. They're going to give me probably a C or a C plus on this pick, but I think it has to happen just because we don't have another pick and he's going to be gone. So what I'm going to do is take Jones out of LSU and kind of help with that edge in Keon White. All right, so Jaden Roberts is another really good pick, I think, as a guard. I think he'd be a really safe pick. Tyler Cooper, also a really safe pick. And I'm not really seeing anybody else that I would want to reach for. So I'm going to take a guard with Jaden Roberts. So basically, we've just drafted a whole offensive line. So I think we're pretty set. Miles Frazier, that would be a good one. Sutton, edge guy. But I'm going to go Domani Jackson out of Alabama. He's a flyer corner. I'm not going to get graded really well on that. But we already have our offensive line, our wide receiver. All our needs are taken care of. So what we need is a return guy or a guy that is going to be able to kind of be a really good special teams guy. And I think that the Jackson is going to be that guy. I also Tony Grimes is another one that I would be interested in from UNLV, but you can't really go with Alabama. Can't really go wrong with Alabama kids, and we could still get Tony Grimes with that pick we picked up from that last trade. But I am going to go. I mean, they're not going to like this pick at all, but it is tight end university. So Luke Leitchie, I'm going to take him. We need to replace Austin Hooper, and I think that's a really good place to start. I like this guy. So if we happen to get rid of Milton, Jackson Dart would sit as our third, and he would be one of those guys that you took late and could potentially be huge draft capital or could potentially take over. If anybody has followed Ole Miss, Jackson Dart is this is the most undervalued quarterback. I was saying the Missouri quarterback was undervalued, but Theo Weiss Jr., that would be probably my next pick. I got 218, so I'll probably take him at 218 if he's still available. But right now, going back to Jackson Dart, statistically, he's one of the best, if not the best, college football quarterback today. So he would definitely be one that you could take a flyer on, and I think he's going to still be available later in late rounds. We're in round 7, pick 1 right now, so I think we don't take him there. It does make sense, but Keon Sabb, Alabama, or Montrell Johnson Jr. I think that's another good pick. But I'm going to take Theo Weiss Jr., kind of shore up that wide receiver room. And now I'm going to take Jackson Dart, and they're going to give me a B- on that one. I can almost guarantee it. Or a C. They'll probably give me a C. Kobe Bryant, I think this is a really good spot for him. He's another guy that I would take maybe as a flyer. Brady Cook is another one that I wouldn't be surprised at all if his draft stock didn't skyrocket throughout the drafting process. Jaeger Burton, I think that's a solid pick, and it's going to be one of those guys that he'll be able to rotate in and still give you snaps at that guard position. So I don't think that would be a horrible pick. Just to look, I do have 239 and I have 253. So to take him now would kind of be a waste. I'm going to take no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm going to take Jay Joyner right now out of Minnesota at that edge spot. Actually, nope. I take it back. Taking Aaron Smith, linebacker, South Carolina State. He fits the scheme. And now I'm going to go Rock Taylor. That's intriguing. Who did I just take? I took Aaron Smith, so Jay Joyner's still there. Wow. So now I'm going to take Joyner. This guy right here, he entered the transfer portal. Gronowski. He's probably the best FCS quarterback in the nation, hands down. I think I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him at Iowa, potentially even Notre Dame. So I don't think that I think he'll play one more year in college before he gets there. But keep an eye on this guy right here. He's gonna turn some heads next year, and I hope he gets a shot. If he does get a shot, he'll make the most of it. He's one of those guys that continuously does great things, and he's a lot of fun to watch. So apparently they're trying to steal my car. So David, I'm going to take the linebacker out of Texas to round things out. That gives me... I wouldn't mind Jimmy Orr Jr. I think that's a solid pick too. I'm trying to think. This one's tough. We do have... Oh yeah, this is our last pick of the draft. So I feel like we could definitely take a flyer. But I'm not going to go that far. I'm going to go Jabbar Muhammad. No, I'm not. Let's be real. I really like Rock Taylor there. But with T. Higgins and the other, we gotta get some defensive stuff. So we'll see how we did. Great job. That's a good looking draft. So we got McMillan A+, Zabel A-, Booker A. Then we traded Mabo A. I knew that Jones was going to be a C+, Jaden Roberts A, Jackson C+, tight end. I knew that wasn't going to be great, but I think he's going to be a solid tight end. He's a great blocking tight end, and he runs decent routes too. I think that's a pretty good add there. I really like him. He's going to be something as long, special teams wise, or potentially make a little bit of a difference. And then Jackson Dart B, that's a higher grade than I thought I was going to get. Aaron Smith B-, Jay Joyner B, and then the linebacker out of Texas B-. So overall grade A, top 24 of all the drafts. And then we can kind of go over the first round really fast. Cam Ward, Carter, and Hunter. We kind of looked at that already. Will Campbell went 5 to Jacksonville. That would be, I knew he was going to go. We'd either have to draft him here, and they tell him we drafted him early because he's available. So we did take McMillan instead of Will Campbell. I am very well aware, guys, in the comments, that we do need a tackle. I understand that. I'm a Patriot fan, been a Patriot fan for a long time. But Will Campbell, I don't think he's the best tackle. I think the best tackle is that Texas kid, Cameron Williams, out of this draft. And to watch him drop all the way to 13, that's kind of crazy to me. But and then we got Genty going 6. I've done a couple of these drafts, and I've seen him go all the way down to 23. So kind of that's shocking to me that the Raiders would reach on Genty like that with Will Johnson and Shedeur still sitting there. So then Will Johnson, Shedeur Sanders to Carolina. And then we got tackle, wide receiver, Luther Burden to Chicago, wide receiver. I don't think that's going to make Chicago any better. But I think Caleb Williams will appreciate the effort. And then we went tackle. So I mean, it's definitely deep there. So I can't say it. Starks from Georgia. Malachi Starks from Georgia, going to Seattle. I think that's a huge pickup for Seattle. They're rebuilding that defense to what it used to be, and they're really close, and he's going to be a huge piece. Loveland, don't love that pick at tight end at 19, just because I think Tyler Warren is a better player, and then you had Jalen Walker as available for that Texans team. I think that's probably where they needed to go. Kenneth Grant, Benjamin Morrison, one of the best corners, but I'm a Notre Dame fan, I'll be honest with that, but I think Xavier Watts has a lot to do with the Benjamin Morrison's success, so I do think that might be a little high. I would not be surprised at all to watch him drop to the second round, potentially. and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that, but I just, Xavier Watts doesn't get the credit he really deserves. James Pierce Jr. dropping to 29 to the Buffalo Bills. That's scary. I hope that doesn't happen. And then Campbell, linebacker out of Alabama, going to Philly. Philly their defense just keeps getting better and better every year. If this would pan out, and then Shamar Stewart. But we all know the Detroit Lions are going to be picking about here, and the Eagles will be picking about here. So Kansas City is about right where they need to be. Except I think right now the Buffalo Bills will be at 31, the Eagles will be at 32, the Lions will be at 29, and then the Chiefs will be at 30. So that could mess this up a little bit, or just change how these players are picked. But yeah, so this is the post-Gerard Mayo draft, and kind of making room for Vrabel. I think everything else is semantics, and we're just kind of going through the motions until Vrabel says, yeah, I want that job, which he kind of already has, but you got to interview everybody. But when Vrabel gets hired, or probably in a couple days, we'll do one more of these, probably after the next round of the college football playoffs, and see where everybody lands. Because I really thought this guy right here, Ashton Genty, his performance during the college football playoffs would be really affected, but in this draft it wasn't at all. He's still getting picked over Shedeur Sanders, which I think should happen, but I didn't think he'd get picked by the Raiders. So thank you guys very much for watching. Please tell me what I did wrong down in the comments. If you liked the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see the next draft. Hopefully it's after Vrabel gets hired in a couple days. But if Vrabel's not hired, we'll go through the motions again and see what would happen if we did go and get that offensive coordinator for Detroit. Thank you guys again, and take care.